Shalom and welcome to Hebrew Bible Secrets. We continue with the book of Mathew, starting at chapter 8. 1. When he had come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. 2. And behold, there came a leper and bowed before him, saying, Master, Adon, Lord, if you desire, you can make me clean. 3. And Yeshua put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. 4. And Yeshua said to him, See that you tell no man, but go your way, show yourself to the Kohen, the priest, and offer the gift that Musa commanded, for a testimony for them. 5. And when Yeshua had entered into the Kafar Nakum, there came to him a centurion asking for help. 6. And saying, Rabbi, my boy is laying at home, paralyzed in terrible anguish. 7. And Yeshua said to him, I will come and heal him. 8. The centurion answered and said, Rabbi, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof. But speak the word only, and my boy shall be healed. 9. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, Go, and he goes. And to another, Come, and he comes. And to my servant, Do this, and he does it. 10. When Yeshua heard it, he marveled, and said to them that followed, Verily I say to you, I have not found such great faith, no, not in Israel. 11. And I say to you, that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham, and Yitzhak, Isaac, and Jacob, in the kingdom of Shamayim, heaven. 12. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. 13. And Yeshua said to the centurion, Go your way, and as you have believed, so be it done to you. And his boy was healed in the same hour. 14. And when Yeshua came into Kepha, Peter's Beth, his house, he saw his mother-in-law laying down and sick of a fever. 15. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered to them. 16. When the evening had come, they brought to him many that were possessed with demons, and he cast out the demons with his word, and healed all that were sick. 17. That it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Yeshayahu, Isaiah the prophet, saying, He took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses. 18. Now when Yeshua saw a great crowd about him, he gave commandment to depart to the other side. 19. And a certain expert of Torah came and said to him, Rabbi, I will follow you wherever you go. And Yeshua said to him, The foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. 21. And another of the disciples said to him, Rabbi, allow me first to go and bury my Av, my father. 22. But Yeshua said to him, Follow me, and let the dead bury the dead. 23. And when he was entered into a boat, his disciples followed him. 24. And behold, there arose a great storm in the sea, insomuch that the boat was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. 25. And the disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Rabbi, rescue us, for we are about to perish. 26. And he said to them, Why are you fearful, O you of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. 27. But the men marveled, saying, What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? 28. And when he had come to the other side, into the country of Gegashi, there met him two possessed with demons, coming out of the tombs, exceedingly fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. 29. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with you, Son of Elohim? Have you come here to torment us before the appointed time? 30. And there was a herd of many pigs feeding at a distance. 31. So the demons appealed to him, saying, If you cast us out, send us into the herd of pigs. 32. And he said to them, Go. And when they came out, they went into the herd of pigs. And behold, the whole herd of pigs ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and drowned in the waters. 33. And they that kept them fled, and went their way into the city, and told everything, and what was befallen to the possessed of the demons. 34. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Yahushua, and when they saw him, they begged him that he would depart out of their coastlands. So there now ends chapter 8. So we'll just have a quick look at the footnotes. So the first footnote in chapter 8 is in verse 3. And Yeshua put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. Okay, let's have a look at this word, cleansed. Note, Yeshua became unclean ritually to heal this person. The man was white with leprosy and became black, his original colour. Okay, let's have a look at the next footnote, which is in verse 4. And Yeshua said to him, See that you tell no man, but go your way, show yourself to the Kohen, the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded. Okay, let's have a look at this, commanded. Okay, for that it's saying, there's a reference to Leviticus 15, 14 to 15. Leviticus 15, 14 to 15. Let's have a look at that quickly. 14 to 15. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahweh to the door of the tent of the appointed times, and give them to the Kohanim, the priest. 15. And the Kohanim priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the Kohanim priest shall make atonement for him before Yahweh for his issue. Okay, so there you have it. So these laws will be coming back into effect when we are called back to the land in the second Exodus. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote. So after command for a testimony to them, so let's have a look at this word, for a testimony to them, Yeshua teaches to obey the Torah. So like I said, we're going to be going back to the laws once we're back in the land. Okay, so the next footnote is in verse 5. And when Yeshua had entered into Kafar Nakum, there came to him a centurion. Okay, let's have a look at this word, centurion. This was no ordinary man. He commanded about 100 Roman soldiers. He was humble enough to come for help. This showed he had great faith in Yahushua. Okay. So the next footnote is in verse 6. And saying, Rabbi, my boy, is laying at home, paralyzed and in terrible anguish. Okay, so we have a footnote from my boy. The Aramaic text lists him as his boy and not servant. Okay. So the next footnote after that is in verse 10. When Yeshua heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, Verily I say to you, I have not found such great faith, no, not in Israel. Okay, let's have a look at this word, Israel. The Yehudim, the Jews in Israel in the Judean region, who were the primary majority, had not shown such faith as this Gentile man, who had such great faith in the Master. Okay, so this man had more faith in Yeshua than Yeshua's own people. So let's have a look at the next footnote. So we have in verse 11, and I say to you that many shall come from the east and the west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Yitzhak, Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of Shamayim. So if we go back here, we've got the east and the west. So let's have a look at this quickly. These are the returning 10 tribes who will come and join the tribe of Yehudah that will be present in the land. However, the rest of the people from the 2 scattered tribes of Yehudah and Benjamin will return too, since there will be many that at that time that had not returned to the land yet. Okay, the next footnote. So we have Abraham, Yitzhak and Yaakov in the kingdom of Shamayim. So this is the same verse 11. So the kingdom of Shamayim. The kingdom of Shamayim, heaven, is the first century reference to Yahweh's coming kingdom, where Abraham, Isaac and Jacob would be raised alongside other heroes of the faith. So we're talking about resurrection here, yeah? Okay, so verse 12, the next footnote. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, but the children of the kingdom. Let's have a look at this quickly. The children represent the unbelieving Hebrew people in Israel at that time. He forgave them while hung dying on the tree. Okay, and the next footnote is, shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Okay, darkness. Let's have a look at this. These are the ones in Israel who at the time refused to believe Yahushua. Okay, so they didn't believe the testimony of Yahushua. They didn't believe that he was the Messiah, so to speak, or, so these will be the ones who will be cast into outer darkness. Okay, so the next footnote is in verse 18. Now when Yeshua saw a great crowd about him, he gave commandment to depart to the other side. Okay, let's have a look at this. In the Sod meaning, this is the side of the demonic spirits in the spiritual realm, known as the Sitra Hara in Hebrew learning. Okay, and the next footnote we have is in verse 22. But Yeshua said to him, follow me, and let the dead bury their own dead. So let's have a look at this. Dead. The idiomatic expression is to go and get his inheritance sorted out. But Yeshua told him not to worry about your inheritance, as it was now a greater inheritance with him than with earthly goods that will perish. It was also customary to bury one's dead and then wait 1 year to dig the bones up and put them in an ossuary, which is a little box. Yahushua was not saying that he shouldn't go and bury his dead father, as it would be disrespectful to do that. The Torah commands to respect parents. So this is to do with the wrangling of the various family members and their inheritance rights. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 24. And behold, there arose a great storm in the sea. Okay, let's have a look at this word storm. The sod meaning is that Israel was about to be tossed and turned and thrown all over the world again. But Yahushua is with Israel, since he is the great shepherd who will gather them all back. Okay, so that's the sod meaning, the hidden meaning there. So let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 32. And he said to them, Go. And when they came out, they went into the herd of pigs. And behold, the whole herd of pigs ran violently down a steep place into the sea and drowned in the waters. So let's have a look at this word, waters. The sod picture of the Gentiles that will come up against Israel. These are the Islamic radicals who will go down into the sea, which is a picture of the nations that will be judged and will perish. Okay, the next footnote is in verse 33. And they that kept them fled and went their way into the city. Okay, let's have a look at this. Here in the sod meaning, when Saudi Arabia will be burning, the foreigners will flee, everyone, to his own nation and go home to tell the story about it. Okay, so let's go to the next footnote, which is in verse 34. And behold, the whole city came out to meet Yahushua, and when they saw him, they begged him that he would depart out of their coastland. So let's have a look at this word, coastland. Of course, Yahushua was casting all the unclean demons into the unclean pigs. So that was bad for business for the pig farmers, who were breeding these pigs for the Romans, since the Italians loved eating them. The pig farmers were worried if Yahushua stayed any longer, they will all have to file for bankruptcy, and the Romans would not have been too happy about this situation either. Okay, so there now ends chapter 8. So I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. This is Rabbi Beaton saying Shalom Shalom.